Hi everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Time for another pantry chat. Today we're going to focus on shelf-stable options for milk, for cooking, for drinking, and recipe making. So I can't wait to show you what this is all about. As mentioned, today we're going to talk about milk. In our current climate, I'm going to say, there are certain words, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there are certain things you can't say in your video, because if you do, it will be removed or limited, and I don't want to do that. So we all know what's going on. I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to say the words. But I do know that if you are like me, and if you are hearing things from your friends and your family, there's a lot of limitations as to what we can get at the grocery store right now. But the one thing I will say, there are a lot of options, and you may already have some of them in your house, especially if you're a bread baker, or if you like ethnic food, or if you just like to keep certain ingredients on hand. These are things you can reach for if you need milk and don't have any. In a previous video, I showed you how to make oat milk using oats and water and a couple of flavorizers. And that's why I have my bottle of oat milk sitting here, because that is number one right there. That is going to be a really great milk option, a milk alternative if you can't get your hands on your favorite kind of milk, or if you just run out and there's no way you're going to the store, or maybe you live far away from the store, or maybe your store doesn't have any, or maybe you're in a situation where you don't live in a place where you have access to a local dairy or whatever. Everybody has a different situation. So I'm just trying to keep this open here. Not everyone is the same. Not everyone lives in the same area. There are things that you can pick up. If you're doing grocery pickup, you should add some of these things to your list. If they're available, I think they will help you out. The first thing is shelf-stable milk. Now this is whole shelf-stable cow's milk. Parmalat milk has been around for decades. This didn't reach America, I would say, until probably the late 80s, early 90s. That's what I recall. Now if you go down the aisle where they keep the shelf-stable milk, which is usually the baking aisle, and then they might have some, for some whatever reason, near the juice aisle. They also have non-dairy options. So you'll be able to find rice milk, almond milk, and coconut milk, and different types of nut milks in these shelf-stable boxes. These are ultra high temperature pasteurized milks. They have a very long shelf life. This one is good until March of next year. And there is also a company I used to be able to get at the Dollar Tree. It's called Gosner. You can order directly from them. You can like cases of quarts of different varieties of milk. They have whole milk, they have heavy cream, half and half, 1%, 2%, and then they have a selection of flavored milks as well in small, like juice box size containers. So that's an option for you. But I will say, I get emails from the Gosner company on a regular basis. They are doing what they can to keep up with the high demand. So you might want to look on your grocery store shelf for some of this. I happened upon it when I went to the grocery store last week, and I thought, oh, this is great, because I really wanted a box of this to do this video so I could show you guys, and we will definitely use this, whether it's in a pot of soup or to drink. I'm not a milk drinker, but Rick definitely is, and so it's good to have this on the shelf. Something I always have on my shelf are coconut milk and coconut cream. These are great alternatives. You can use these in cooking. You can use these in smoothies, in milkshakes. Coconut cream, you can actually refrigerate this. You can skim off the fat solids, and then you can whip it like whipped cream, and you can have a non-dairy whipped cream option. You can actually take some of this organic coconut milk, mix it with your homemade oat milk, and have an ultra creamy coconut and oat milk that is going to be really delicious. And of course, the old standards, sweetened condensed milk, which basically is used only for baking and dessert making. I really don't think that you can use that like as a milk alternative in your cereal, but you can use this in your coffee, and it's a great coffee creamer if that's what you have on hand. If you've never put sweetened condensed milk in your coffee, it's really delicious. And of course, evaporated milk. When I was a kid, my mom, when she ran out of milk, she would put evaporated milk on your cereal, and I have to say it was gross, and I gagged, and I don't like it. But You know what? You can take this. They tell you on the can you don't have to cut it with water, but I'm here to tell you you might want to cut it with water. It is very creamy, and if you use it in place of half and half or milk in a cream sauce, gravy, a soup, or some other recipe, that's fine. You don't want to cut it. But if you're going to use this as a milk alternative for your cereal or something like that, I definitely would cut it by 50% with water. I would just use a container and put a can of water to whatever, to the milk, and then mix it up really well. Of course, you can always have powdered dry milk. Shocker, powdered dry milk shelves at my grocery store completely bare. I checked. I didn't need to buy any at the store because I have a good supply of it at home. I use it for baking. I put it in my bread. It's a great bread amendment. But in a pinch, you also need it to make milk. The one thing I will say is if you are not familiar with making powdered milk, there's a right way and a wrong way. And the wrong way is to take the powdered milk, add cold water, stir it up, and be very disappointed because it tastes nothing like milk and it has a really off taste and nobody is gonna like it. I'm gonna give you some hints and tips here for making dry milk, powdered milk, because you'll thank me if you've never made it before. You wanna take the instant milk powder or the dry milk powder. Not all of it is instant. You want to make it with hot water. And first of all, you only want to mix the packet with a couple of cups of really hot water. And you want to stir that until it's completely dissolved. Then you want to add warm water to that until it measures the amount of water indicated on the package. You want to stir that even more. If you have an immersion blender, that's even better. You can stick that in there and you can blend it up. You can put it in the carafe of your blender and blend it up. It's going to give you a much creamier outcome in the end. Then you're going to want to put it in a container and put it in your refrigerator and do that overnight. You do not want to drink powdered milk immediately after you make it because the dry milk will not have had an appropriate amount of time to rehydrate and it will just taste not so great. I also wanted to have buttermilk powder here because while most of you will not be buttermilk drinkers, and this buttermilk powder is not intended to be mixed and used as a beverage, it is something is nice to have on your shelf because you can add it to pancake batter. You can add it to salad dressing mix. You can put it in your biscuit mix if you're out of buttermilk on your shelf to make regular like buttermilk biscuits. So there are ways to use all of these things. I just wanted to go over it for a couple of weeks now. Doing a pantry stable milk option video has been on my mind, mostly because I have friends who have pages on Facebook and some of their friends have said, we tried to get milk and we couldn't get milk and now we don't have anything to eat our cereal on. These are people like you and I who maybe they don't keep a huge pantry and maybe the idea of buying dry milk powder isn't really at the forefront of their mind. Maybe they didn't grow up using it. Maybe they don't bake. There are a lot of reasons why people don't know that these things might even exist. Except now they're going to learn. So I hope this gives you some broad ideas about how you can stock your pantry with dairy and non-dairy options that you can use in the event that you can't always get what you need when you need it. So I do hope this is helpful and I hope you learned something. And if there are things here that I haven't listed or there are not things here that I didn't talk about, leave them in the comment section down below and help all of us learn together because, we are all in this situation together. We are all learning new things every day. And if it can help even one person, it's been a success. So I hope this is helpful and I hope you give them a try if you hadn't considered them before. And until next time, I'll see ya. If that's the current situation. So I hope you give this a try and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.